Alright, part 3 of episode 5 Bullets and Blood for Legendary on Hard. As I struggle to hotwire this control panel. So this area gets kind of dicey, mostly because you have a good amount of Black Order soldiers that you need to deal with, but eventually werewolves and an alpha werewolf will show up, and you'll see I end up getting trapped in this area that I'm in now, fighting an alpha werewolf, and it almost got dicey to the point where I wasn't sure if I was gonna actually survive, and I got very lucky with that grenade throw. That one, it killed the werewolves, and I actually managed not to take damage from it. But yeah, trying to deal with those Black Order soldiers, and I get jumped by that alpha werewolf. And at that point, I was just trying to figure out which direction he was in, so I knew where to look when I shot him. But he managed to take off like half my health in about 5 seconds, so it got a little dicey. Thankfully, these Black Order soldiers don't actually come over to this area. They like stay behind those barriers as their cover. So, and once it sounds clear, you're pretty much safe to move through. I kind of look back at the upper area over by where I came in, just because that soldier that was on the building when you're facing the other side, I wasn't sure if he was still alive or not, so I didn't want to take the risk of walking through the doorway and getting shot at in the back from him. So just kind of be cautious if you aren't sure if you actually killed that guy or not, because he could potentially shoot you in the back. So, and once again, this is another time where the Denari are being fucking annoying and making you have to go completely out of your way just so you can open the doorway that you need to go through. And you get to see me do a very bad thing where I throw a grenade when I didn't mean to, and nearly die. That was me going to Animus Pulse, but instead, for some reason, hitting right bumper and throwing a Molotov and nearly fucking dying. So don't do that. That could have been potentially bad for me. Mostly because I couldn't remember where my last checkpoint was, so I don't think I wanted to be put back before opening that gate. But yeah, it got dicey there. But coming up into this next area, this is the Griffin fight, and they provide some ammo and some grenades. I managed to go into this thing with full Molotovs and grenades, so make sure you reload on everything, and as soon as the cutscene is over, move to your left, and then while the Griffin is killing this guy, just Molotov the shit out of it. And make sure you run over here, because you do have some teammates over here, and they can do some damage to the Griffin, and sometimes if you're lucky, the Griffin will actually ignore you and go after the teammates over there, so you can basically start shooting the thing in the back, and try not to almost die like I'm attempting to do here. I'm not. Initially, I wasn't being lucky in having it actually go after my teammates, but eventually the Griffin finally decided to cooperate and actually go after my teammates so I could grenade the shit out of it and put some shotgun bullets in its back. And this Griffin fight is very annoying just because of the weapons that you have, but when we eventually get the rocket launcher in chapter 6, these Griffins are no problem whatsoever. And try not to go where I was because I wasn't sure if there was another exit. And don't go here with the Griffin because, as you saw, I nearly got stuck and died. So what I mean by this battle taking so much longer than it should. The room to my left right now, it does have, I believe, a grenade in it. But I was so... The problem with going in there is that there's no second exit area to there. There's only the one doorway, so you potentially run the risk of getting trapped by the Griffin if you go into that room. And I didn't want to risk it just for one grenade, since I more than likely probably would have died. So I chose to ignore going into this area. But as you notice, when the Griffin died, it left a huge Animus bundle to pick up, like more than what I could actually carry. That's why in the later episodes, especially 6, getting a Griffin dead near you so you can absorb its Animus comes in very handy as a fallback point if you need health during battles, especially at the start of chapter, or I always say chapter, at the end of or at the beginning of episode 8. But once you drop in this area, there's plenty of ammo and grenades to pick up. And basically we're moving into the final point in this episode. You want to be careful because I believe you need to move up a certain amount to trigger in the werewolves. So you probably want to trigger them in when there's a lot of Black Order soldiers still alive, just so that between them and your teammates they do a good amount of damage to the werewolves. And try not to take a Molotov like I did. I was actually kind of surprised by that. I wasn't expecting that Molotov. But I will let the rest of this play out, and I will see you in the final part of episode 5.